Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me, no. All you board ghosts, come with me, we're going home.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, and yet we will play for you. Welcome to Board Ghost. This night's offering is a continuation of Fiasco, our Dragon Slayers playset. Our players tonight...
Ken Breese. I'm playing as Umbrah, a golem who was created by an evil wizard named Melzakorn.
And I am Giaco Furino. I am playing said evil wizard Melzakorn. And I sort of grew up training in wizardry with Belaria Greenstars. And we have a sort of checkered past where we've both scarred each other in some way.
All right, and Umbrah and me, even though he is the creation of an old frenemy, is also a rescuer and to my rescuee. So there's a sort of an odd relationship where even though I'm not the creator, he is still played or has been or will play the rescuer in my life. And sort of
That's right.
in the middle of the fray here, we have a trophy, which is this tome of dark rituals, a need to fly before they realize who someone is really working for, a location which is from the past, a wizard mentor's cottage, which was looted after his death. And we've actually entered the second act. Let's walk up through the first act a little bit. What happened, Ken?
Yeah, in the first act, we entered the cottage. We found our way there and defeated the evil dragon that had killed the mentor of Melzakorn and Belaria Greenstars. Entering the cottage, it was much more difficult to find the trophy, the tome of evil rituals, than we thought. But we were able to do so, but with great personal cost, as the two wizards were aged. They lost some of their life. And Umbrah was possibly transformed magically after first having sort of her body being sort of desiccated by an evil tome, and then sort of put together by the nature magic of Belaria Greenstars.
In our tilt, the two elements that were added, there's an innocence where love rears its ugly head, and paranoia where the thing that was stolen has been stolen.
And so any of those elements, either of those elements, can be tapped to be used in any scene now going.
Where we left off, we were in the tome room of
If you will.
Bellaman the Wizard, our mentor.
Right. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, this is a new scene.
This is a new scene. I'm actually going to skip us ahead 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days have passed, and we are trying to sort of find our way, trying to get out of the cottage and get back to whatever we call home. We're a little bit impeded because the cottage is surrounded by furious locals who have pitchforks and torches and want to get us. Basically, they're having a dragon meat barbecue, so there's plenty of food for them, and they've sort of made a troublesome camp around this cottage.
So we're hiding in the cottage?
We're sort of
hiding out there?
We're kind of trapped in there.
Trapped inside so we're trying to hide in the catacombs beneath the cottage.
Well, they haven't gotten into the cottage yet.
Okay.
They've got us surrounded. So
we've been in the cottage for the last 4 days. What have you guys been eating?
Roots.
Yeah. The raven.
The raven.
Yeah. We roasted that raven a few nights
raven
ago.
Familiar. Okay, great. So that's where we are. All right.
That's where we are.
Who do you want to pick up a scene with, Melzakorn?
So I want, we haven't done this yet. I would like you guys to sort of
To set the scene?
set the scene.
Yeah, happily.
Cool. Or has it already been set? Is that?
Oh, no, it's okay to set the timeline. That's all right.
Okay.
We're collaborating here.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
This is perfect.
So I want to throw this in there. They've been roasting the dragon and eating it in more of like a transubstantiative, sort of like honorific way.
Yes.
Where the dragon was the one thing protecting everyone from the darkness of the tome. Because already the woods have twisted.
Yes.
And you can tell like they have like poxed children and there's like sickly people. So there's whatever magics we broke in destroying the dragon have probably unleashed out. So the dragon was a force keeping things in.
So how have we been affected? Yeah.
Are we the bad guys, guys?
I mean,
You have to ask that.
Yeah. But so we were really messed up by this tome when we got it. So we've now held it in our possession for 4 days.
Right.
So we must be getting sort of twisted by it. But it was inside Umbrah. So I
Right.
feel like Umbrah is continuing to deteriorate. Whereas before she was sort of given a shot in the arm by
Right.
Greenstars.
The scene starts where a spokesman for the village.
So you're going to play the spokesman and you're going to play Melzakorn and you're basically having a scene with an NPC.
Okay.
Right.
This village elder who we can tell has like some like light powers to him, like a sight or something. He's a blind man,
Right.
But he just walks confidently forward, stepping over roots and stuff. And he knocks on the door of the cottage.
Great. And Melzakorn would sort of slide the little
Shink.
the little window. What?
You have unleashed something dark and great onto this world.
No, you're wrong. This is how it should be. This is normal. That dragon, you're welcome. We killed it. Goodbye. He closes the window.
The crowd outside is, burn them down.
He opens the window. No, don't burn us down. Thank you. And closes the window again.
He knocks again on the thing.
We must cleanse the evil.
And slides the window. What?
You need to seal the tome.
I have no idea what I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Did anyone see it? Anyone see a tome?
Creator is inside of me.
Okay, she closes the window. That's enough. Thank you.
Well, I think that's good. I mean,
right.
You decide whether or not this goes positively or negatively for you.
Right.
Since you let us set the scene. Effectively.
I think that it's going to go negatively for us. Yeah.
So you pull one the negative die that goes in. You keep that now.
Right.
And let us know how
it went negatively.
Yeah.
I think that it's very clear to everyone outside now from just getting a little peek at me that we do have the tome. I think the way it's gone negatively for us is that Umbrah is starting to get a personality, is kind of seeping into its person based on this vile book of evil.
Is there a sort of an inciting moment that turned like what? How do we know it goes bad? Is there?
Oh, interesting, because that should sort of connect directly to this scene.
Yeah.
I think it goes bad when Umbrah begins to vomit snakes onto the floor.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right. So now we're washing snakes.
We're washing snakes, and we've got a village of angry, a village worth of angry people outside trying to break down our door.
All right.
Umbrah sets the scene. Okay. The scene is later that night. This was sort of in the morning with the rise of the sun is when the elder approached. When the brightness, the new day, the renewal of light. The elder was turned away at the door. The elder has been attempting to offer prayers and obeisance to the soul of the dragon to try and cleanse this place. But so far as nothing has been happening. But at least it's been keeping the villagers at bay, so they haven't rushed the cottage yet to try and burn it down. Their main worry is that the evil wizards inside of it will kill them if they do that. Umbrah looks to Melzakorn later that night and says, Melzakorn, I know what we need to do.
What? Any idea is, we'll take anything right now, even from a golem.
I'm going to go ahead and tap our tilt. Innocence, love rears its ugly head.
Great.
As Umbrah says, you need to repair the bond with Belaria?
That's very personal. First off, Umbrah, you were created to protect and lift heavy things and break down doors and generally, protect us.
My mandate has expanded.
No, that's not how this works. What do you mean?
And I think that's where the scene's going to end.
What do we think?
How does it go?
I think we need more positive dice floating around.
All right. So it goes positively for Umbrah. So that means that she picks Melzakorn up by his clothes and holds him in the air, sort of shakes him and says, "You need to repair the bond," and sort of tosses him towards Belaria.
And I catch him.
Yes, there it is.
And hold him.
My frail, thin, bird bone body.
Love rears its ugly
Yes,
head.
it does.
All right, I'll pass.
I'm holding this withered man. And I stroke your waxen, frail, thin, paper thin skin. I look over at Umbrah. The square of twigs and greenery has started to spread, but also is like taken on like this thorned, blackened sort of twisting thing. So Umbrah looks larger and more primal than he was before. She was before. It was before.
She now, I think. She's claiming it.
I say, Melzakorn, we need to combine our powers and destroy Umbrah and the book.
Never. You and your greenery. Put me down. I don't want to look at you.
I gently lower you to the ground.
I just lay on the ground and kind of turn away from you. I'm very upset at this point.
So I go to the door and I slide open the window, and I see
Burn them!
we see that they've arrayed the bones of the dragon like in a circle as far as much as we can see around. And
bad.
the elder there are young people from around the village sort of stationed. It's like at least, a few apart, like arm's width apart, all just on the outside of this circle. I see him, he's sharpening a knife in like behind the thing, and I go, they're going to unleash something even darker if we don't stop this. Please, Melzakorn, we have to destroy the tome.
Melzakorn kind of turns. He was not facing you. He turns and he kind of looks at you, looks you in the eye, and says,
What is it? How's it going to go?
It goes positively.
And says, "I've always loved you." And he sort of puts a hand out to let's kill these villagers. These innocent villagers. God, you're beautiful.
I sigh and I say, if that's what I have to do to make you destroy the tome, and I embrace you, and we start to enact like a ritual love magic.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
It requires like some cut to black.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. So
Umbrah, turn around.
All right.
I can't do it when the golem's watching me.
Okay. Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is your last scene.
Okay. Got to make it count.
I mean, all of them have been going pretty good.
Yeah. We're going to skip ahead about 8 minutes. And the room that we are in is covered in both dark thorns and blooming flowers. It's like a heady mix of the smell of, roses and flowers and daffodils, but also that like deep earth, that like mulchy kind of, and there are vines everywhere and flowers, and like this swirl of energy is just filling the room.
And Umbrah's rooted.
Umbrah, yeah.
You can still move, but right now at least you're rooted. Like you're part of this whole tableau.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Melzakorn looks to Belaria and says, this is our locus. of power. Do we destroy it and the book? Or, and hear me out, do we open that door and sort of let it out and to take care of those people? I've done enough. I think you're of the most sound mind to make this call, my love.
On one hand, there's a darkness here that has a corruptive force that could spread.
Sure, that's fine.
And what they're doing outside is another dark force that they're going to try to use to cancel it, but could amplify its power. Maybe we'll buy ourselves time by stopping them, but perhaps we should just, I don't know. We could either destroy the book first, or we could stop them and buy ourselves time.
I'm interested in the outcome where we're still alive. They're sharpening knives. I think those are for us.
Okay.
All right.
I think that this ultimately goes poorly for Melzakorn.
Right. So poorly for Melzakorn means that they would not act selfishly in this scenario, right? Like Melzakorn wants to save his hide, and he wants to, keep the book.
Yeah, he's effectively attempting to convince his lover to abscond and sort of live or whatever, or leave this responsibility behind.
Right. So I guess that this goes maybe negatively for Melzakorn because maybe the choice is taken out of our hands by Umbrah.
Okay, then that's how it goes poorly. The choice is taken out of your hands by Umbrah. Okay, great. So the next scene is going to be a flashback. The flashback is going to be before the dragon was killed. It's in the woods, and Umbrah is watching over the two magic users as they sleep, as it did and does. When the hedge wizard Belaria comes out of the forest and places a gnarled hand on Umbrah's chest. Belaria, the hedge wizard, it looks probably like a late 50s-year-old man, even though he's probably hundreds of years old by this point. His hands are gnarled and twisted, almost looking arthritic, but his body is hale and strong. Placing his hand against Umbrah, he says, "Bring the book to me once the dragon is destroyed, and I will tap paranoia.
Great.
The thing you stole now becomes stolen." As Umbrah nods and realizes what its true mission is for the coming days. And that is where my scene will end. But does it go poorly or well for Umbrah, I guess is the question to the table.
I like the thought of it going well
Yeah.
for Umbrah. Yeah, that
Cool.
you will get the message.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that being the case, what happens then is that as the two of you turn to enact the ritual against Umbrah to destroy the book, the tome, and Umbrah's form, your magic starts coruscating together, the sort of the dark and the light, or the positive and the negative as the case may be. The life and the death comes together to form this whole, as there becomes a deep understanding that neither can exist without the other. The light cannot exist without the dark. Death cannot exist without the light, or the life, excuse me. And your magic forms two halves of a whole that begins to coruscate into the form and really heat it up, almost like a supernova. So that the book seems to be heating and getting brighter and brighter, this form, this rectangle. Finally, it cracks open, almost like a lava flow. And Umbrah's form unfolds like a flower, basically, or some sort of sea anemone that's opening. And stepping out of that form is a raven-headed, thin figure whose body then sprouts wings as it looks at you and says, "Intruders!" and begins to fly away.
Amazing.
With the book in its hands.
With the books,
Or grasp.
grasped in its hands, yes.
Now the last scene.
The last scene falls to Belaria.
And so we have one die left. It's a
Yeah.
black die.
It is a black die, so however whatever you do,
Whatever
will
it's gonna go bad.
go poorly for you.
The roof peels away as the raven cackles, like another clue word. It's like reveal in raven or something, and it opens up and it flies out of the roof and away with the tome, and the darkness lifts a little bit, like not only because there's more light now that the roof is open, but because we aren't in the presence of it, and we sag, we're weakened, we just expended a lot of magic, and we kind of lost access to a powerful object that was sort of sustaining us over the past week or so. And we hear outside like chanting completely around the circle, and stumble to the door, and I open it up, and the elder and like sort of older people from around the village have a silver knife to each throat of those people in the ring of bones.
Oh no.
And they slice, and blood pours down over the ring of bones.
Sure.
The dragon bones?
Yeah, and creates this like black red shell of power starts to rise up from the bones where the blood hits it, and is forming this sphere over us. That's where my scene's gonna end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last words that you want to have with Melzakorn or with the Umbrah crow?
Well, it's gonna go bad, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so
you can
I'll
say.
just
I mean, if you have some lines you want to say.
Yeah, so Umbrah's laying on the ground, like split open and twisted, like it's like a clay figure that a child just like pulled apart or stuck his fist through. I go over to Melzakorn, and you're aging rapidly, and now I am too. We're both like, and this whole cabin, as the shell closes, is decaying, and everything is graying and shriveling. Umbrah seems less affected. I go to you, and I take your hand, which is withering, in my own, and point ourselves at Umbrah, and push the last bits of life into Umbrah.
Okay, that's where Act 2 ends.
Yep.
Now we'll roll the die that are in front of us, and this is our end result.
This is called the aftermath.
The aftermath.
Cool.
What actually happens to our characters, right? That are sort of our fortune cookie, if you will.
Right.
But each die that we have will be a scene in the end montage that we tell for our characters.
So I have 6 black, and my aftermath, which is black high aftermath, is pathetic. This is my ending. Awesome. You'll suffer. Oh dear God, will you suffer? And everyone will know of your malfeasance, your stupidity, or lack of common sense and decency. You're probably going to be locked up too.
Great. So
awesome.
So
mine is
negative
12.
Negative 12. Yeah. Wow.
Read in the black high.
Pretty good. All things considered, you're coming out of this smelling like a rose. You're a little better off. Maybe you got the girl, or maybe you just didn't get caught.
Yeah.
Melzakorn. Yeah.
Melzakorn, dude. All right. I, on the other hand, got positive 12, which is not too shabby. You made it out with dignity intact. Through some fluke. There might even be a little profit, or self-respect, or something. Time to throw a little party for all your friends.
Amazing.
Now that we know what our sort of general endings are, we can do our scene-by-scene montages to close out.
Yeah, and Giaco, do you want to take it off?
So in that final moment where we're both making that decision to sort of give our life force to Umbrah, Melzakorn holds back just a little bit there. He's still in the back of his mind is like, I still feel like this is your fault, Belaria.
Flash forward, apparently after whatever cataclysm happens with the, cottage and the evil dome of magic that's over it and disintegration of everything. There is a child-sized version of Umbrah that is scampering about the woods, just somewhere randomly, just randomly scampering about.
This is the last moments of life pour out of me, and I die. I just collapse in your arms, and you drop me.
Yep.
And I just look up in despair as the shell closes, and I know that it's a boil, that it just is holding in all this darkness and will eventually burst and spread more evil.
Right. You die in my arms, and I drop you. And I sort of stand up and stretch a little bit, check myself out in the glass and see that I'm still a pretty old man. I feel okay. I don't feel so bad. And then I look down and see that my foot is inflamed, and it was bit by one of those snakes that you had vomited up earlier, that Umbrah had vomited earlier.
All right, cool. This is flashing back now to right during the scene that ended our story. Umbrah's form is disintegrating away, almost like water and clay mixing, so that it's turning into sort of a gray ooze, slurry looking sort of form. So this grayish puddle is starting to sort of spread on the ground where the cottage is disintegrating. It seems to have some sort of neutralizing effect to some degree. And it even starts to create a circle around Umbrah's form and Belaria's form as well.
As the camera sort of like pans from you to the dead eyes of Belaria, flash back to when we're children, and Bellaman is raising us, and we've just stolen a small kiss kind of thing in the woods, like we're, you know, in our tweens or whatever, we're 10 or 11 and just kind of being children, and Bellaman scolding you, this is inappropriate, it's wrong for magical beings or people who take on magic to have these passions, it's dangerous. And he actually goes to give you a strike, and I step in front and take the hit for you.
I'm going to flash forward, and you see a sort of a city, or a cobblestone, a pretty large village. It has black sort of flags flying in the breeze. The people walk; they seem a little downtrodden, and we sort of pan slowly up to this beautiful statue of this being with a big raven head in the middle of town.
Yeah. This is pulling back and back and back. We're tracking back and back from the boil, from the dead bodies of the villagers, and now sort of the evil-looking faces of the elders who have perpetrated this crime. We're just going back and back and back into the forest, sort of leaving this behind. And out of a similar-looking grayish pool of water, this child-like looking stone clay creature emerges. So there's sort of like steam coming from the pool as well. And as the creature sort of shakes off this water, its eyes open. It has actual eyes. And they are the eyes of Belaria Greenstars.
Belaria Greenstar awakens and feels her consciousness as part of this vast power, and has this inner peace, like she's tapped into this great expansive power.
Cool. So for my final negative die, just as Melzakorn is about to sort of, he looks outside, he's about to, he steps outside for a moment, kind of creeping away, you're puddling over there, he sort of is getting away from it, and he looks up and says, this wasn't so bad, right as the boil pops. Yeah. And just dark energy and evil and just guts just sort of pour all over. Yeah.
I am flashing years, decades ahead as a now grown Umbrah Greenstars is leading an army of light against the evil tyranny of the raven-headed king.
After eons of floating in this womb of power, I sort of stretch my consciousness out to feel the confines of this space, to see if it has an ending, and kind of hoping that it's a sort of endless over energy, this Maya energy that I had come to sort of make my personal philosophy. But I feel these edges like I'm inside like a rectangular solid with these purple fleshy walls, and I realize that I'm inside the tome.
And thus ends Fiasco.
Well, that got weird.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one, man. That was wild.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew.
that, our story ends. We'll return again with a new way to spin a tale to dare to entertain. So to learn more about the players and the engine of our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes or your preferred listening portal. So let's meet with our players and kind of unwrap this game of Dragon Slayers Fiasco. Ken, what'd you think of this playset?
Great playset. I mean, it definitely played for me to my comfortability, sort of my strengths. I really love playing in fantasy settings, so this was right up my alley. But I really loved how we sort of turned a lot of it on its head, and then got some feelings in there at the end. Like it was kind of cool. It kind of really came together, and for me, I love consistent logic, internal consistency, and I really felt that very deeply with this game. Actually, it was great.
Cool. Giaco, it's been a little while since you played Fiasco.
It has. It's been a long time.
Good re-entry.
Yeah, this has been great. I was maybe I forgot or just didn't have that experience last time, but the cohesiveness of story really I really enjoyed that this time, and the sort of depth of storytelling. Even though very sort of random things happened, I've played games of Fiasco where it really felt just like, let's make a left and then a right and then a left and then a right, and you never know, which is fun in its own way. But this was very cool to weave a story like this that had like you said, an internal logic.
Yeah, and I liked, again, I do kind of think that the more straight play sets, the ones that are, confined and mundane, can get the most sort of in-depth and character heavy. But I think we did really good about keeping the fantastic elements sort of as devices to help us tell the story versus being these sort of, like you're saying, these wild cards that we could just like, oh, ace in the hole, boom, we're out. Like, hey, here's a Deus Ex Machina for us, that kind of stuff. There was not much of that, which was great.
Yeah, no, I think we all embraced the idea that we were going to die.
Yeah,
I think that's all you need to do with Fiasco, folks.
It's sort of surprising that not all of us did.
Yeah. Now I want to read the fight against, of Umbrah Greenstar versus the Raven.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah. We'll play that next time.
Cool.
So, Ken, where can people find you on the internet?
Find me at Berling's Beard. It's BERLINGS Beard. That's both my Twitter and my own personal site.
All right. And Giaco, where can people find you?
And you can find me on Twitter at Giaco Furino. Giaco is GIACO FURINO. Got to spell it out when you got a weird name.
And you can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho. It's not too hard to spell, so I'll leave it at that. I want to take a second to thank Pat Couples for our awesome theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat on his website, patcouples.tumblr.com, and you can find his band on hotelsandhighways.com. Again, we believe you're out there hungry for stories, for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there.